Hello, welcome to Podcast First Play, episode 258. I am one of your hosts, Carl, and as always, I'm joined by a man who was caught in a tonic water tsunami. He was swept away. It's Eddie Bloody Dan.
Bonjour.
Ooh, little serenade.
Just for you, because it's Valentine's Day. Oh, wait, no, it's not. We're in the middle of December and it's cold. And I'm bored.
Cold and bored, so you just start singing.
Yeah, what else is there to do?
I'll tell you what there is, Dan. Did you watch the Game Awards this year?
No.
No, neither did I, but I did, for the purpose of this podcast, round up all of the nominations and winners.
Interesting. Okay.
So, not into this room where we're going to talk to them. One thing I will point out, though, that people have gone very angry about, with good reason, you would have, say, for example, you got your big AAA games, Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate, Spider-Man, etc., and you've got the people that played or did the mocap for the characters in said games. If they won, they got to come up. If Call of Duty won an award, say, the devs got to come up, accept the reward, have a chat, whatever. All of the indie game nominations and winners, they just moved on. They just went, this guy won, and then moved on. Even though they were there. Don't know.
Oh, that's some bullshit right there.
And I'd say out of all the ones that need to get up there and get the face time,
deserve it.
Indie. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So there was a bit of a ruckus about that, with good reason.
Let me see which ones we've got then.
Well, Dan, we're going to save Game of the Year for the end, because obviously that's the biggie.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, scroll down through these. So you've got your Player's Voice Award. So this is 100% voted on by fans for their favourite game of 2023. Okay. So mostly means nothing, because I don't know how the other categories are then voted. I think it goes to a panel of
presumably
judges.
Like a press or something like that.
Yeah.
Would be like, it's the same as like the Oscars. Like, people don't go to a voting booth and vote for favourite actor of the year or whatever, do they?
No. So I would say that this one arguably is the more important one, because this was the people that bought the games, they spent the money on it, they put the time in, and they've played it. But
it's also more than likely not going to be objectively a great game that came out that year. It's just whatever the most people enjoy that year, which could be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, it could be FC 24, or whatever the new EA FIFA thing is.
I'll tell you, Dan, there's not a single football or Call of Duty game in this category.
Oh, is it Fortnite?
No. Your nominations are Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, so the sequel. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Genshin Impact, which is a mobile game. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, which is the DLC with...
That's a DLC. That shouldn't count for shit.
Well, it's standalone, isn't it? So
nah, bollocks.
And Baldur's Gate 3. So Player's Choice Award.
Player's Choice, I'd say, is probably... I was going to say Spider-Man, but there might be more people playing Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I'd say that.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Zelda, yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Good.
When you were saying,
Good.
like, then it's probably a game, like, no one, it doesn't matter. It's not important. And I was sat there, I was like, well, I think you'll disagree.
That's fine. I mean, that's getting good praise, good credit for a very good reason. We talked about this on the last podcast, but that game completely blew me away when I got it, and I imagine that there's probably many people who felt exactly the same.
Would you rate it as your game of the year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played some really good, like I say, like new RoboCop, Phantom Liberty. I haven't played, but I did start getting back into Cyberpunk because, one, I've got a new card, like GPU, so it looks the way that it should have done when I started playing it initially. So I haven't played Phantom Liberty, but I've had like just a bunch of new games that have come out this year that are quite good, but none of which I've gone back to as much as that. So yeah, I'd say that is probably mine.
It wouldn't be mine. I don't have it, so I can't make a full decision. I can't make a decision on it in that term. What I've seen when obviously sat watching you play it, It seems like a very good game, but it's not my game. Like, in this, it would be a toss-up between Spider-Man 2 and Zelda for me, because that's my kind of game, and I've got and finished both of them.
Well, that was my thinking. Sort of like people who haven't got a huge amount of time, casual gamers, it would make more sense that those would be the ones that you could just sort of pick up, put down, and you don't really miss too much about it. Yeah. Whereas a story beat that happened 25 hours ago in Baldur's Gate, if you haven't picked that game up for 6 months, you're going to have forgotten all about that.
Yeah, I do that with more linear games. I've just forgot what's going on.
That's true. But I imagine as well that's probably got quite a fierce fan base who are just sort of like, no, we're all going to go out and we're going to vote for this because we want people to know how good this is and blah, blah, blah.
When, realistically, do you reckon was the last time Baldur's Gate was in any kind of award show like this? Because I don't even think we had the Game but did we have the Game Awards back then?
Probably not outside of like magazines giving out awards and stuff like that, maybe, because it was in like the 90s or something, wasn't it?
But I suppose
like
even
early
then
2000s, 90s.
It would be going up against Final Fantasy 7 and stuff at that point.
But that would be RPG. PC only though, so it would be it would be in the it'd be looking at StarCrafts and Command and Conquers and that kind of World of Warcraft, that kind of thing. It'd be going up against, I guess. But yeah, that surprises me a little bit. I don't disagree with it. It's just that I would have thought for the People's Award, it would be something a lot more commonplace rather than. Yeah. But again, it's sold incredibly well, so it is quite common.
It's been a very popular game.
Yeah, it's just a big nerd time sink, which I just can't imagine that the casual market picks up on super often. But if that's the one that's crossed the boundaries, I'm okay with it.
It's done it. Best adaptation. So this will be over obviously TV and movies. So you got Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, the movie, obviously not the game.
I forgot that came out. Yeah.
The Last of Us, Super Mario Brothers movie, and Twisted Metal.
Oh, I still need to watch Twisted
Metal. I haven't watched it, but he went on to do the award for this.
Who?
Andy Mackie.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's fun. Well, if he's giving the award out, then it's definitely not Twisted Metal. Because you're not going to be giving an award out and go, oh, it's me. No way.
Honestly, like as soon as I saw him, I was just like, well, that ain't one.
Yeah. Best adaptation. Can we say Fallout? Because I think that is probably going to be the case.
Yeah, but it's not out yet, and that wasn't on this list.
I'm still going with Fallout. Final answer. Lock it in.
Unfortunately, Dan, you're incorrect.
Oh, what a surprise.
It was Gran Turismo.
Bollocks.
No, it's The Last of Us.
No, I was thinking, I was hoping, again, Last of Us makes the most sense because it is great. But Super Mario Brothers because kids.
But
like it was
again, this
in
is
terms of an actual adaptation. No, rubbish.
I think it's the best.
It's not me controlling a dude jumping on turtles. So
in terms of a fun cartoon movie, it's very, very good. It's got some funny bits. It's very well animated. In terms of a Mario movie, I mean, it's the best one, but it's also only got the Bob Hoskins live actions one to go against.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, so it's not that bar's not massively high, but I think for what it was good. But again, obviously these ones now these go to the board, so it's going to be tone, how it's filmed, how it feels, how it's acted, everything else. So it's 100% got to be Last of Us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But that's got to be a bit of a smack in the face though to know that your show is in the list. And you know you ain't won, and you've got to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, if I just starred in a Mass Effect show and they said, "Do you want to give the award for best?" I'm like, "Well, not really, because the only reason you're going to be asking me is because I haven't won, so I'm going to be a bit disappointed by that." Oh, congratulations, competition, well done.
Well, they did have just because you've mentioned it, they did have some of the people from Fallout there doing an award.
Oh no way!
They had a guy in power armor suit. The lead female, though I can't remember her name.
Has there been a name? I mean, we didn't get one in the.
No, her real.
Oh, right.
Her real name. And our good buddy,
Mr. Howard.
Mr. Howard, and oh my god, I can't remember his name. Ghoul.
Oh, Goggins.
Yeah,
Captain Goggins.
Yeah, Goggins. He was there as well.
Yeah.
Probably promoted Fallout.
Funnily enough, we were talking about Fallout the other day, and I know I don't want to talk about it. I do, That's all I want to talk about.
I never want to talk about it ever again.
I was playing Fallout 4 yesterday or the day before, and I nearly messaged you about it because I found there's a guy. You'll remember this, but in Fallout 4, the side quest or like the main companion quest that you do with Nick Valentine is finding all of the Eddie Winter tapes. Yes. Did you find Eddie at the end of it?
I genuinely can't remember. I don't think I did, if I'm honest.
So there's a bunker that he's hiding out in, and in each tape, there's 10 of them, like spread across the Commonwealth. And if you get all 10, there's a number code associated to each one, and that's a 10-digit code that gets you into his bunker. And when you get in there, he's a ghoul. And Nick's like, he's been a ghoul, like he was experimenting with radiation before the war started, so he's probably the first ghoul because he turned himself into a ghoul before the war even happened.
Wow.
So Goggins, being called Ghoul, he will not be, if this is supposed to be canonical, he isn't the first Ghoul, but if this is like still set sort of reasonably after the war, he could still be a relatively new Ghoul, I guess. So if they go, he's the first one, then he's not. No.
Unless they've kind of changed a few things.
Artistic liberties, sure.
But that's interesting, though. That's very interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think Last of Us was a really great, and in terms of again adaptation, as in taking from the source material and made into a similar thing, it's pretty spot on. It's
as close to as you can get without it just being the game.
Without it just being constant fighting.
Yeah. And I still would prefer it doesn't exist. Like I still don't think that it needed to be a thing, but
no.
I was happy with the result.
No mention of Halo.
That's a very good point, actually.
Was that this year? Was that last year?
No, it wouldn't have been this year, would it? That was maybe
funnily enough,
2 years ago.
Unbelievably so. There was a second season of Halo that's starting in February next year.
How?
I don't know.
I haven't even finished the first season.
I got past the first episode and I was like, I'm in no rush to watch this.
I watched more than that. I maybe watched 4, maybe.
Oh, I 100% didn't. I need to go through it. It was at the end of it and he took his helmet off and I was like, oh, what have you done?
I mean, I think the casting was very good. The actual cast on, because he's a big, tall guy. He's quite stocky. He's a good actor. But yeah, at a driver, they just got a very tall nobody where they didn't have to show his face. But the show itself also isn't very good. That's not the only problem with it. It's just not a good show.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game, Dan. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, which is Yakuza, Star Wars Outlaws, or Tekken 8.
Ooh, see, Tekken is big on the tournament scene. I thought there was like a new Tekken that was out this year, wasn't there?
There's new Street Fighter 6.
That might be one thing.
And obviously Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. Just simply for the fact that I've been playing so much of Final Fantasy VII Remake at the moment, and I'm like 24 hours into it at the moment, and it still doesn't feel like it's kind of winding down. Like, I'm expecting that at the end of every cutscene, it's just going to go to credits at this point. But I think I saw the trailer for the Rebirth, and there was like Sid and there was like Red.
Yeah.
So I've got a feeling that I doubt I'm going to get Red in Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't think it'll go up to the point where like you get him from the labs or whatever, which means that I think I'm teetering around the edge, around the end of it. Yeah. So personally, that one. Even though I know I won't be able to play it next year, it'll probably be the year after that.
Yeah, because it was PlayStation, wasn't it?
Exactly.
That's another way of looking at it, though. Like, most anticipated could be the more multi-platform approach. So if more people are voting for something that's available on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, Switch, maybe. I mean, you are right. Yeah. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I guess I would have. I mean, personally, I would have gone Star Wars Outlaws out of this list.
I think if it was another like Cal Kestis story, then that one would be higher than Outlaws, because that's an untested unknown at this
Yeah.
point. So I'm super looking forward to it. So for me, to be able to look forward to that for next year is great, but that's only because I can't get Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Final Fantasy.
Yeah. It is, indeed.
Yeah. So I'm going to be looking forward to Outlaws simply because I cannot play Final Fantasy, which is quite devastating, frankly.
We're going to skip this one because it's best esports team.
I couldn't tell you one.
I was going to say, if you can tell me one, we'll go through it. But the winner was JD Gaming.
Well done. Congrats.
Best esports game. You got Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, PlayerUnknown Battleground Mobile. They've put it in as PUBG. I had to remember what it was.
Congratulations.
And Valorant.
Valorant's pretty new, but I'd say probably CSGO.
No, it was Valorant.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I know it is popular with like the streamers and stuff like that.
Oh.
But with CSGO 2 now coming out, now being out, I thought maybe that would get people. Sorry, I keep on hitting this.
It's all right. The PlayerUnknown Battleground is the mobile version, not the PC version. That
didn't come out this year, did it?
Yeah, but neither did. Did Valorant come out this year? League of Legends definitely didn't come out this year.
Maybe it's because it's like a continual.
I think it's because it's like constantly updated and stuff.
But then shouldn't like Overwatch and stuff like that be on there as well?
I suppose it depends what the player base is for them.
Well, it's
I assume these are bigger. I would have said Overwatch personally, but
yeah, Dota is massive though.
Fair
enough.
Again, we'll blast through these ones. Best esports event.
Valorant again?
Nah, League of Legends World Championship.
Oh, event. Sorry, right, as in like a thing that's happened. Right,
so
okay.
League of Legends World Championship.
Also, what the fuck's that ranked on? I had more fun there. This one had free pizza.
Recognising an event across single or multiple days that delivered a best-of-class experience for participants and the broadcast audience.
Okay, so whatever one you got. Imagine if that was an award, like an E3 award, like Best in Show. It's like, the PlayStation one. I got a better vibe from that this year.
Yeah, that's basically what this is, by the sounds of it, to be honest. Best esports coach.
I don't know or care.
I don't know any single one of these. And they all have, like, the name, quote, and then the last name.
So it'd be like John, the Guardian, Thompson.
Christine Potter Chi, Danny Zonig Sorensen, Jordan Gunbert Graham, Remy XTQZZZ Quodum, Yoon Hom Sung-young. I don't know who any of them are.
No, I don't know if they're like YouTubers. I don't know if they're like pro esports that have now started their own team.
I'm assuming it's very good players helping other people get better. That's what I'd get based on it being an esports coach, but that could be massively wrong.
How long do you reckon it will be? Like, we've had like Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent, and all that. How long it would be before like Britain's next esports star?
Well, they wanted, like, there was a big thing. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I can't tell you the end result because it didn't happen. But they wanted to get esports as an Olympic event.
Right, it won't be a part of the Olympics for a start, but like a reality show, like a TV talent show.
I could see him doing that. I could see YouTube or Twitch or someone making that kind of show.
Yeah, right. Like, as soon as people are sick of fucking singing and dancing and sob stories or whatever,
I'd probably watch it just to see what it was like, to be honest. Maybe then we'd get to meet Christine Potter Chi. We'd know who it was then.
Or maybe if they've got an ounce of integrity, they'll be like, I'm not getting involved in this bullshit.
I get paid a lot more without doing this.
I get paid way more doing my esports stuff, yeah.
I mean, if you didn't like that one, Dan, best esports athlete.
Next.
Content creator of the year.
Oh, that's incredibly subjective.
And I'll tell you now, Dan, I guarantee you don't know any of these people.
Well, you say that.
Well, I'll go through the list.
Okay.
Iron Mouse. People Make Games. Quackity. Spreen. And Cypher PK.
No, not one.
No. Do you want to guess?
No.
Iron Mouse. Obviously. I mean, I'm assuming that this is a spelling mistake on IGN. On two different ones. For a streamer or content creator who's made an important and positive impact on the community in 2021.
Again, what's that based on?
All I don't know about is 2 years out of date. So,
What do you mean?
well, it's 2023 now.
Sorry, what did that say?
2021.
Oh, well then I don't know. Okay.
And it's the same for the esports athlete performance and conduct in 2021.
Yeah, well done, IGN.
Dickheads. Best multiplayer game, Dan. This is for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experience, irrespective of game genre or platform. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, or Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Ooh, now Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That seems very new to be considered for an award like this. Party Animals. It sounds like a fun Twitch thing, which I'm pretty sure isn't it that pigeons thing.
No, Party Animals is you play Gang Beasts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
It's
know
basically
like,
Gang
like
Beasts.
a corgi and that.
Yeah. It's quite it's fun. It's on Game Pass.
Read them back to me again.
Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, Mario Bros. Wonder.
See, Diablo is a big online thing, but I know that it got a lot of hate when it came out. So, in terms of like outstanding multiplayer, blah blah blah, I think maybe it's a point now where it's better. But I don't think it was well received when it came out. Although it is primarily like you want to play it with your mates, sort of thing.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6.
I'd say probably Street Fighter then. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Really? Wow, they are cleaning up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I haven't played the multiplayer side of it yet, but with the quality of the rest of it, I can't imagine it's like a bag of dicks. It's the same thing, but you've got your mate with you.
Yeah, you just again playing it with somebody else. Of this particular list, I haven't played Mario Bros. Wonder yet. The multiplayer for Street Fighter 6 is pretty good. Party Animals is I wouldn't say it's great. Party Animals is it's a fun giggle for like 2 or 3 rounds.
It's like genital jousting. It's sort of like, it's a fun thing.
No, it's better than that.
But it's just it's
I know
a
what you
gimmick.
mean, though. Yeah.
It's only got like a 6-month shelf life before the next one comes along or whatever,
My biggest critique of Party Animals is when you play a game and you go, it's a bit like Smash Bros. This is just Gang Beasts, but with dogs and cats instead of people. It's the same controls. It's slow and fucking wibbly wobbly. It's not great to control, I'll be very honest. But then you'll play something like, what's another one? Human Fall Flat. Controls on that are very good. And it's that same kind of like, whoop, 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 but the controls are very tight and they work very well. That's not the case with this. So
that's interesting. Best multiplayer experience, and yet there's those are the only ones.
Again, this is a this year thing, and we've had a lot of single player linear story-driven games this year.
Again, there's still been like Call of Duty and stuff like that that's come out this year.
Yeah, but it's also been trounced. I'd have been surprised if that made it on this list.
But so I'm pretty sure. Let me have a look. But I'm pretty sure Diablo is still not incredibly well.
They had the I'm very bad with names lately, but the guy who plays Kratos from Stargate.
Oh, it looks like it's been picked up a bit. So it's still the all reviews is listed as 69%. So it's not.
Yeah, it's just pretty low especially for a mainline Call of Duty.
For something like this that should be
at least in the 80s.
This should be like amazing. Yeah, this should be like top there. Considering there's 129 quid worth of DLC that's available on Steam for it.
Fucking hell.
Like, you'd expect this to be shitting over pretty much anything. That should have been the new Baldur's Gate when it came out. It should have just decimated everything. Yeah. But never mind.
It's what it is. But speaking of Call of Duty, the actor who plays Kratos in the new God of Wars, and he played, is it Tennille in Stargate?
Oh, yeah, I know the dude. I
can never remember his name. I'm sure it's Christopher something.
Christopher.
Walken.
Yeah, it's.
But you know who I mean,
Boy.
though. He came
Isn't
on.
it like Christopher Judge? I want to say.
Judge. Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was given an award out, and he gave like a speech for stuff and talk about the games and stuff. But it says he got in trouble, but I don't think he actually did. But he ended it with his speech was longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign.
Well, he said that. Fair enough.
Which is probably true, but
And it is probably true. Yeah.
he apparently the devs wasn't very happy that he took a pot shot.
Well,
But you can because his game's like 60 hours long. So
right. Like, and again, everyone knows that Call of Duty isn't about a single player campaign experience anymore, and it hasn't been for a long fucking time.
it hasn't, but at the same time, it's expected. There should be one because that's what you're paying your money for.
And also it's not like he's having a go at someone's like. So if he had a cheap shot at Cyberpunk, like, so let's say this is last year and it just come out and it was getting ripped apart and it wasn't very good, and he was just like, oh, I'm not really good at speeches, but at least this is better put together than Cyberpunk 2077.
yeah.
Then you could be like, mate, come on, like. It's been overhyped. People have been absolutely rinsed out on it. Like, it's released like, that's a dick move.
Yeah.
But to say Call of Duty don't put much effort into their story campaigns anymore, that's a fact.
Yeah, it's
that's
just
true.
And I'm pretty sure the higher ups at EA are specifically saying focus on the multiplayer because that's what's getting that's their player base.
That's what they generate their revenue from. They're selling loot boxes and whatever to get skins and shit.
Yeah, dickheads buy them. So.
Also, if you can't have a laugh and a joke at your own expense,
then it's like, especially in the gaming industry where it is like, for the most part, very toxic. Like you're gonna get a lot of stuff thrown at you at some capacity. If you can't take that, don't fucking bother with it. But Dan, another one for you: best sim/strategy game.
Oh.
So we've got Advance Wars 1 Plus Reboot Camp.
I'm sorry, what?
Advance Wars 1 Plus Reboot Camp.
What the fuck is that?
Don't know.
Hold on.
When I say plus, it is Advance Wars 1 and then the plus symbol. Not two games in one.
I have no idea what that is. Is that a mobile game or something?
Can't tell you.
It doesn't exist on Steam.
Put in Google.
Advanced. Oh, here we go. 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. It's on the Switch.
Oh.
And it looks shite.
Yet again, IGN have ballsed up because on here it says Advance Wars 1 Plus Reboot Camp. So should that be 1 and 2, not 1 plus?
No, it says that's what it says on here, 1 plus 2. So it'd be 1 and 2.
Yeah. But on this it just said Advance Wars 1 plus sign Reboot Camp. Fucking IGN.
Potentially.
God almighty.
I'm only seeing it on Switch on here. I don't know if that just means that it's only on Switch.
Possibly. I mean,
no, it is. It is only on Switch.
There you go.
Also, the best possible platform to play a strategy game, the Switch.
Didn't Advance Wars start on the DS?
I don't know. I'm not looking.
Pretty sure it did. City Skylines 2.
I hope that's a no.
Company of Heroes 3. Fire
like
Emblem
that.
Engage. And Pikmin 4.
Ooh, now Pikmin again. That's another good one.
I love Pikmin.
Company of Heroes 3. I did play the demo for that, and I've been meaning to get it because I really love Company of Heroes 2. I want to say, annoyingly, Cities Skylines 2, because that's the more prominent one.
Pikmin 4.
No, I want it to be. Yeah, I want it to be something like Pikmin or
Pikmin 4.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then that makes that makes sense.
I haven't actually played 4, but I do love Pikmin.
Oh, it's real good.
Best sports/racing game. EA Sports FC 24, F1 23, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, and the Crew Motorfest.
Ooh. I did see a clip today with someone that's found like a weird little glitch thing in FC 24. Where they got the footballer and he's doing like a skill thing, and he like, like when people like when they get like their heel and then like the ball in between like their heel and their thigh, and sort of like lock it up.
Yeah.
Basically did that, and it like glues the ball to the back of their ankle, and then you just run, and no one can tackle it off you because it's like glitched into your body, and you just run into the goal and you
For
score.
fuck's sake.
And I was just like, incredible.
Just like real life.
Yeah. So I want to say the crew, like this is probably the best crew one, but I haven't played it, so I
It's
don't
free
know.
though. It's free to play.
Is it? Maybe we should get on that. Bit of racing. There's flying and ski-doos and all that kind of stuff, isn't there?
The first one was interesting, but not enough to go, yeah, I'm going to buy that.
No, I mean, like, Forza Motorsport has the potential to be really good as like a sim, but I've uninstalled it because it just refused to work graphically, and I just can't deal with it. Probably FC 24.
You got an FC 24?
Yeah, it's a big one. It seems to be a
Forza
popular
Motorsport.
one, but it doesn't
Must
work.
have been fixed.
I don't believe you.
I don't know what to say.
Don't believe you.
I mean, I also watched this so I'm not taking all my information from IGN. I did watch the announcements, but yeah, Forza Motorsport.
I again, the bit that I played whilst the road was visible, it looked great.
Well, we still don't know because we had this conversation when we was talking about it on release. Did Xbox have the same problems?
That's a good question, and honestly, I'm not sure.
Because if it didn't,
I'd hope not.
A lot of the stuff like this could be based on Xbox players rather than PC players.
Or they could very quietly just sort of say, "Well, don't worry about the one that doesn't work properly. Everyone likes the one that works, so we'll just use that one."
That's why we're just going to call it Forza Motorsport. no numbers.
Yeah, I'll reinstall it at some point, but it was very good. It was just the serious older brother of Horizon.
I love Horizon.
I was playing it yesterday, and I was just sort of like, I genuinely miss this, just sort of finding a ridiculous car and just zipping around the countryside or whatever in it. It's great.
Playing 5 it gives me a good feeling that obviously these guys are the ones that are making Fable, and like with how good. And again, we've said this time and time again. It's easy to make car sims look good because it's a shiny car. That's all. The world that you're in doesn't have to look that good because it's going past it at such a vast speed. But they've still taken the time to make their world look very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that'll look like in a Fable setting. Best family game: Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals.
That's not the Enchantment or whatever it was.
No.
What was the one that came onto
Disney Star Valley, something like that. Light Valley, something Valley, Summer Valley. Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. That's such a good question. I can't remember what it's called.
I actually think Disney Illusion Island is like the hand-drawn platformer. Dreamlight Valley, that was it. Just quickly Google Disney Illusion Island. I think it is an absolutely gorgeous game, if it's the game I'm thinking of. And it's a kind of like Cuphead vibes.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's the Switch. Yeah, I think I've seen this.
I remember seeing a trailer for it and I was like, this looks real good, to be honest. I've never played it, though.
That does look good. Yeah, you're right. It's very Cuphead. Sorry, it started playing. Yeah, it's a platform. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yep.
So that, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, or Mario Brothers Wonder. Best family game.
Family, see Smash Bros. Did you say Smash Bros?
No. Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, Mario Wonder.
Mario.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mario. Yeah. Even though it's only been out for like a month or whatever.
It came out in October 10th. It came out.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple of months. Best fighting game: Everyone's favorite God of Rock.
What?
God of Rock. I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of that.
God of...
To Google.
To Google. Is it the Jesus one? Remember that Jesus
No,
fighting
no.
game?
That was like a PC thing. What the hell is this? Mysterious God of Rock has revived the souls of the universe's greatest musicians to class for his entertainment. It's like a Guitar Hero fighting game.
I mean,
How has this not come up on my recommended list? Yeah, it's a rhythm-based fighting game. So it's like Guitar Hero, but if you fuck up, you
get
hit
punched.
Yeah. Well, it's only got mixed reviews on Steam.
It sounds like a good idea.
It's only 25 quid, so they haven't gone, it's 40 quid. It looks, visually, it looks quite good.
Well,
I can't believe it's not even crossed my path. I can't believe
I've never heard of it. That Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6. I bought Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1 back in the day.
You enjoyed it though, didn't you?
It's fine. Again, I liked the Sony All-Star Smash Brawl, whatever it was called. I thought that was quite good. But ultimately, they all come back to the same thing. We go, it's not Smash Bros, though.
Yeah, it's not as good. No. I'm going to say this is between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And I think that the new MK1 looks great. And I'm always so far behind with Mortal Kombat because I've only really started 11 and I'm pretty sure I haven't got it installed anymore because when I had like a big wipe. I've got Mortal Kombat 11 installed. Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Before 1, yeah. So I haven't even completed the story mode on that yet. So at some point I'll get round to MK1. But I think in terms of like a tournament fighter, like the Street Fighter 1 just seems more crazy and arcadey. Yeah, I'm going to say MK. Yeah.
Get MK? Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Dang it! I knew it!
You were right up until you changed your mind.
Yeah.
I think what's won it for 6 is this like free roam mode. Where it's fundamentally a tutorial, but you can walk around, you can beat up cars, you can beat up people, you can start fights with people, and it's very well put together. Very well put together. Yeah. It's very silly. What we got next, Dan? Best RPG.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16. Lies of P. Sea of Stars. And Starfield.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out, I started Lies of P a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. How do you feel?
Cannot get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Final
persevere.
Fantasy 16, I've heard from a friend of mine, is very good. And I do want to get that, but I need to finish 15, but I'm far too involved in 7 at the moment.
Yeah.
So at some point, probably I'll get round to 16, but I'm in no rush for it. But in terms of just like an all-consuming RP, I've got to say Baldur's Gate again. I think it would be, yeah.
Sea of Stars.
A game I've never heard of.
Did not win. Baldur's Gate was the winner.
Oh, right.
I mean, out of this list, I'm not rating Lies of P. I haven't played 16. I don't know what Sea of Stars is. I'm playing Starfield. So
Starfield's great, but it's...
I wouldn't say it's the best RPG. I wouldn't even say it's the best Bethesda game. It's the most polished Bethesda game, but it's not. It's not Fallout.
What was that? Stars of
Sea of Stars.
There it is. Yeah. Again, this is another one that should have crossed my fucking recommended page or something, right?
I mean, I've never heard of it up until this list.
It looks like an old school Final Fantasy kind of RPG.
Is it on mobile? Is it on PC? Steam?
It's on Steam. Yeah,
Switch. Sorry.
It's sort of like turn-based, pixelized, but high quality. It says it's got very positive views, but we're talking 5,727 reviews that class it as very good. Yeah. And then with Baldur's Gate, we've got 444,000 that say it's overwhelmingly positive. So that's nearly 500,000 people this is purely on Steam that have given it a positive review, which is 96%.
I know we'll never see it, but it would be interesting to see it, like what the margins are. So,
what in terms of?
Just for example, for best RPG, Baldur's Gate 1, but it's only by 2 points.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose that would give away how many people are actually voting on this. Because if it's 6 people and 3 of them say Baldur's Gate, then it doesn't matter what the other 3 say.
Yeah, true. Which is most likely how it is.
But if there's 200, then you might get they only just.
I'm pretty sure it's a person from Polygon, a person from IGN, a person from yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's how it's done.
Probably so, but yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Again, just off that list, I can only really base it on Starfield and Liza P. I wouldn't rate either of them as the best RPG, so it's a bit of a moot point for me on that one. Best action/adventure game: okay. Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, which will be the remake one, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I'd say that's either Spider-Man or Alan Wake. Yeah, I'm going to go Spider-Man, I think.
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Really?
I have played all of these except for Alan Wake 2, and I disagree. out of the ones I've played, I'd give it to Spider-Man or Jedi. Zelda's real good, but it's not the best action game of the year.
No. Like, Survivor's
excellent.
Yeah, it's way better than Fallen Order. Like, that's the one. Like, that's improved on everything from the first one that I had an issue with. And Zelda's great, but it feels more long. It doesn't feel like an action game.
It's definitely an adventure game.
I'd say more in the adventure-y kind of category than the action one.
But that's the only one on this list that's adventure. Alan Wake 2 is, I'd say it's more horror, but Alan Wake 2's action, Spider-Man's action, Resident Evil 4's action, Jedi Survivor's action, Zelda's adventure.
No, there's a lot of platforming and exploring and stuff like that. In Jedi Survivor.
I meant in comparison. I mean, so like there's barely any action in Zelda, realistically. But yeah, I'd rate any of them above. I'm surprised Alan Wake didn't win, to be honest. But yeah, Spider-Man or Jedi would be honestly, my choice.
Yeah, I thought Spider-Man would have been a shoe-in for something like that. But yeah, fair enough. If it's best Spider-Man game of the year, I'm pretty sure it's.
Yeah, I'd hope it'd win.
I'm pretty sure it'd have good chances. Yeah.
I don't want that Marvel card game thing. Best action game. Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, or Remnant 2. Lots of 2s.
Remnant 2? I thought that came out like... Oh, what am I thinking of?
Remnant 1.
No. Wait, no, that's... Because that was added onto Game Pass the other day, but I was like, oh, this is... What am I thinking of? It was a PlayStation game.
No, this came out in July this year, Remnant 2.
What? Yeah, there it is, From the Ashes. I could have sworn that this was a PlayStation game back in the day.
This looks really good.
No, but that's why I was sort of like...
I've never played it.
I remember this, but there was a PlayStation game for PlayStation 3. It must have been. I could have sworn it was called Remnant.
You're thinking of Rayman?
PlayStation 3.
I can't think of anything. Remnant.
I can't. I'm just not going to Google like fucking how many PlayStation games there are at the beginning of R. But I thought it was that, so I just skipped past it because I was like, oh, it was all right, but I never gave it really much thought. This looks all right.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I can't believe I've just skipped 2 fucking games. Well,
never judge a book by its cover, Dan.
No, I figured it was what. Oh, that Sea of Stars is on here as well.
Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah, it is.
For fuck's sake.
I'm going to get started. Oh, this is great. If anything, this is just me going, is this on Game Pass to install?
Do you want the list again? If you already forgot.
I forgot what the category was. Let alone
Best
what they
action
were.
game: Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Remnant 2. Surprising Spider-Man on that's not in here.
Yeah, maybe they can't have multiple games in the same, like in
Yeah,
different categories.
just
Maybe.
can.
Well, that's Baldur's
It's
Gate's won
Baldur's
like
Gate.
3 of them already. I don't know. I'd say maybe Hi-Fi Rush.
I would say Hi-Fi Rush. These said Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I've
My last Armored Core, was it Armored Core or Steel Battalion?
same game, isn't it? Just
It's like giant,
big mech the robot
whatever.
things. Yeah, definitely not best action game.
Yeah, I'd query that.
Innovation in accessibility.
Okay.
So that is recognizing software and/or hardware that's pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush.
Sorry, are we not explaining what those innovations are?
Don't say. Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6.
Again, that I don't understand, because I need to know what the innovation is to go, okay, well, that's more impressive or that's more useful than this one.
I would say in the sense of Spider-Man, there is the new PlayStation accessibility controller to help people who are obviously disabled or handicapped to play the games. It's also got audio stuff. Forza, again, same thing. Microsoft have got the accessibility controller for the Xbox and PC, and I'm assuming it's using that.
But then that's got nothing to do with the game. It's the controller itself. That's the innovation, surely.
Well, no, because you got the controller, and then it's then up to the developers how they use that controller, how it's set up. So I'm assuming, just based on that little tiny bit of information, that all of these games have done something to help.
Yeah, but
people.
I can't go, oh, I think that's the best one, or that should have won, if I don't know what the fuck they are.
It doesn't say. It didn't say on the awards either.
So it's just an industry assumption that, oh, it's because they did that.
Yeah, you literally just.
Is it?
I mean, to be fair, Jeff Keighley literally did what I'm doing now, where you just go, innovation and accessibility, Diablo 4, Forza, blah, 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 blah. And the winner is Forza Motorsport, and then go on to the next one.
Right, okay.
And then it was only where it was introduced by someone else where they came up. Anyway, Forza Motorsport for whatever reason. Best VR/AR game.
Oh.
So, again, this will just be kind of...
This will be a shot in the dark then, because I definitely haven't played any VR games.
Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village, and Synapse.
I didn't know there was a Horizon VR game for a start.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. It's on PSVR 2.
That?
No,
Sure.
Resident Evil Village.
A game that came out like 5 years ago?
This is the VR version.
Doesn't matter.
Of course it does. It's a different game.
It's based on the same game.
It's the same game, but same as Horizon. It's only like about 20, 30 minutes long. It's not a proper game.
Then it shouldn't have a category, should it? If it's just like, oh, it's a fun thing of just you do some cool stuff for 20 minutes and then it's over.
In all fairness, Resident Evil has been made again, so they haven't just made the other one first person and put motion control. It's got different things in it. It has been made not from the ground up because it uses the same engine, but I'll give that one to that, to be honest.
Right.
Best community support.
From a developer?
Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates/patches. Baldur's Gate.
GTA 5, it's got to be. Because they're the only ones that have been supporting the community for 10 years. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 16, No Man's Sky.
Probably Baldur's Gate. Because again, I see patches and shit getting wheeled out constantly from them.
It is Baldur's Gate, but I would argue and say No Man's Sky.
But that's also a game that came out 3 or 4 years ago.
It's on the list, though.
No, but it'll be And the reason that they're doing all these patches and fixes and supporting everyone is because the game wasn't very good when it came out.
I wouldn't say good. It just wasn't what they said it.
You
was
can't win an
be.
awards for making your game as good as it should have been.
You remember those exact words you've just said, Dan, because there's a category coming up that I'm very angry about.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, again, my interaction with the general community for these games is little to none. But in terms of like the dev updates and notifications that I get from like Steam saying like, oh, this is coming out today, this is doing this is doing this. I see Baldur's Gate like patches and hotfixes constantly, which again, it's not like, oh, now the game works. It's like, oh, there was this mission that had this little tweak thing there, and we've just changed that. So like they seem to be just taking tons of feedback on board. So,
I mean, to be fair, they're not going to be making another game for like another 20 years. So
no, because I imagine they're all fucking like.
That's what I mean.
Oh God!
Like, look at the release window between 2 and 3. They've got plenty of time to make this.
Especially with this kind of reaction.
Yeah.
If they've got any sense, they'll go, we're not doing another one. Like, we can't beat that. Are you kidding? Like, the hype behind it is going to be insane.
It'll be Baldur's Gate 3 VR.
Baldur's Gate 3 mobile.
Speaking of, best mobile game, Dan.
God.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
I played it.
Was it any good? This is the one you sent me
it's
the other
not
day,
bad.
wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like they basically, like the sort of like pixelated avatar kind of thing that you had in the original PlayStation 1. So the isometric view, all of that's the same. It's not like the combat isn't the same. It's not like turn-based as like the old ones were, but it looks the same. Obviously, it's just
what's the combat
then. It's timer-based to a degree. So there's like you're just attacking on a standard timer, and then your ATB gauge fills up, and then you can do like spells and stuff like that off the back of it. The combat isn't particularly great, but like the remake that they've done of like the little like avatar dudes, all sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? The sprites that they've got for like the little dead like polygon or whatever. They look great now, and it's a kind of a remake of that. And then all the cutscenes are taken directly from Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that looks great, obviously, but they didn't make it for the thing. But it seems to be like it's not the game; it's missions from 7, Crisis Core, and there was something else on there as well. But I forgot about it. I have no idea.
I was just mentioning PSP games.
Oh right.
I love Crisis,
but it's pretty good. Like for what it is for a free mobile game, it's fine.
Would you say it's best mobile game? I mean, I'd say the rest of the list.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Honkai Star Rail, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Monster Hunter Now, and Terra Nil.
Well, that Star Rail thing, I know that you've mentioned that before. I've had someone else mention that before. And I know that Monster Hunter's got like a big fucking community behind it. So I'd say it's either Monster Hunter or that Star Rail thing. So I'm going to say that Star Rail.
Yes, it is Star Rail.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact is better than Star Rail, though. But that's not on this list.
It's all the same, Callum.
Same people that made it.
It's all the same.
Best debut indie game. Cocoon.
Okay.
Dredge.
Huh? Pizza
Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder.
Okay, well, I played Cocoon. I played Dredge. What was it? Pizza Tower?
Pizza Tower, I don't know what that is. Venba is on Game Pass. And I don't think I've played Viewfinder either.
Member?
Venba. Venba.
Venba.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one with like the couple and the kid. Yeah. It is. So,
it's not on Game Pass.
It's like a food thing. It is. It might just be on Xbox.
No, never heard of it. I don't know. I really like Cocoon.
Want to go Cocoon then?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, good because it won.
Oh, good. There you go. Yeah, it's a really kind of fun, relaxing, puzzly kind of game. It's good.
Best indie game. That was best debut. This is best indie. Cocoon. Dave the Diver. Dredge.
Oh, I've seen that. Yep.
Sea of Stars and Viewfinder again.
Diver Dave or Dave the Diver or whatever it is. I've seen that on Steam. I did nearly pick it up the other day because it looks kind of fun. But that's Sea of Stars. Yeah, I'm going to go Sea of Stars.
Good, because it won.
Yeah, because I as soon as I started looking at that, I was like, this looks like the turn-based RPG that I've got a craving for at the moment. So I'm genuinely going to install that and give that a go. But that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that was your winner.
But it looks good.
Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or Genshin Impact.
I mean, it's probably got to be Fortnite, right?
You'd think so, Dan. Cyberpunk 2077. So you know what you said, like not even 5 minutes ago, about, and it's basically it says awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content.
They've made one thing.
Well, Cyberpunk have just spent the entirety since the release date of fixing the game, and that,
but I'm assuming that they mean Phantom Liberty.
No, it's Cyberpunk 2077, not Phantom Liberty.
No, you can't get an award for going, oh, well done, you managed to fix your game as it should have been.
That's what they've got.
But like, I don't like Fortnite.
This one isn't even IGN leaving the word off, because this is what it was on the award thing.
Right. But Fortnite have been constantly like introducing new stuff, events. There's like music things, like they've had complete season change. Like even I don't care about it, but even I'm aware of like the crazy stuff that they've been doing in it.
Yeah.
To keep it popular, to keep it relevant.
Even stuff like Apex, like they do, like not to the same degree, but they do like big event things and whatnot.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, I've played a bit of Apex, and it's not too bad, but it's just I'm not very good at it. And it's not really kind of my cup of tea anyway, so I'm not inclined to kind of get into it either.
I mean, like, this obviously these came out after the awards, but Fortnite's now got the Lego Fortnite. It's got Rocket League is in it now. There's a Guitar Hero in it now. It's basically it's becoming Roblox. So Fortnite is a launcher now, and you've got all these different games within it. But yeah, Cyberpunk 27. It's a game that's not broke no more.
I mean, well done for that, I guess.
Honestly, I was fucking livid. Like
that, yeah.
There was a few, and the video I watched was it's just the reading out and then saying the winner, and then it got to this one. I went Fortnite, and then it was like 2077. I was like, what? Fuck up. I've already got a few wrong.
That's mental.
Yeah, I disagree with that completely.
I don't agree with that, no.
Any one of them I'd have been happy with. Final Fantasy 14, Apex, Fortnite, Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact as well is another one.
Final Fantasy 14 has got an insane community. Like in terms of size and like in terms of the support that's given. I don't get that.
Yeah. Bullshit is what it is. Games for Impact, Dan. For a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message.
Interesting.
I
like the fact that it's like, you know, this is a socially aware and competent game. It's like trying to promote it more as an art form. You know, you know, best vibe rather than just best head explosion in a game.
I mean, that's a category coming up, but this. Have you got anything in mind?
Like
for this category,
like socially relevant commentary. Not really. Give me one of them at least, so I see if I can build anything off that.
A Space for the Unbound.
What the hell is that?
That's the first one on the list.
Oh, then I'm not going to know any of them if that's the case.
Chants of Sonar, Goodbye Volcano High, Tachia, Terra Nil, or Venba.
I've not heard of any of those.
You've heard of Venba because we had that on the previous couple of categories.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm now like, oh, definitely Vember, it's great.
Tachia one.
I don't know any of these.
I mean, I think the one of them's that Vember. I think that's about like divorce and stuff. Tachia is actually I've never played
I'm escaping reality into escaping my terrible marriage into a divorce. Hooray!
It might not be. That's just the gist I got. But that Tachia, I don't know actually what it is. It looks like a kind of Zelda-esque game, but it's a very pretty game. I'll say that. I don't know what it is. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion and/or performance capture. Ben Starr.
I'm assuming it's going to be Nolan North because he's.
No, he's not even on the list, mate.
Wow, bloody hell.
Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16 doesn't say who he plays, so I can't tell you.
I'm assuming the main dude, but I don't know.
Cameron Monaghan from Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Ah.
Big favourite here.
Yeah.
Idris Elba from Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Melanie Liburd from Alan Wake 2. Neil Newborn from Baldur's Gate 3. And Yuri Lowenthal from Spider-Man 2. He's Spider-Man.
Right.
He's also Spider-Man in the other one as well. If that helps.
I would probably say Spider-Man.
Neil Newborn from Baldur's Gate 3.
Who does he play in Baldur's Gate?
He is, on... I don't know if it is the same characters through and through, but when it was the big thing and you go, you can have sex with the druid who's a bear.
Yeah.
Him.
Halson.
The guy with the white hair, I think.
Oh, no, that's Larian. He's a vampire.
Oh, no, then the druid guy.
He's a big dude.
Oh, no. Did he have sex with the bear then?
No, he can turn into a bear.
Yeah, that's
so I
what
assume
it
if you
was.
can have sex with him in bear form, then it'll be Halson, yeah.
That one, anyway. That's
He's a big dude.
That's the footage they showed.
Funnily enough, I don't know if I've got a picture of it, but I'll see if I can send you this picture. But
I'll find him.
No, it's of his penis.
Oh.
Because I was... Oh, no, I didn't take a picture of it. That's annoying.
Yeah, it's like an elfy-looking guy.
Then, no, it's not. The guy that turns into a bear is like a massive druid.
That's what they... That's the footage they showed. It was the scene where the guy turns into a bear, and then it was this person after, next to him. But I remember...
Send me a picture of him then, because we're talking about totally different people, if that's the case.
Probably not, because you know the game better than I do. It could.
One of them I killed immediately, so I don't know.
It could just be the way that they did the footage. It's on Telegram, though.
Oh.
Can't do it on Discord because then it covers your face up.
Yeah, that's Larry. It's a fucking he's a vampire. He's not a druid.
I'm just going off the video.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They've got it wrong if that's the case.
They probably just used footage where he was in it, and then it's gone to another scene, and then it's gone to the scene with him. But yeah,
Maybe.
he won anyway. Now,
I can't comment on that because I killed him.
But
so I have no experience with the guy at all. Again,
on a personal level, it would be Cameron Monaghan or Yuri Lowenthal, because that's an entire... They both carried an entire game each. This guy hasn't.
No, but also you could, as I have, I have no idea what his performance is like because he's dead.
Yeah.
So,
I'm genuinely honest. I was going to save this till
after.
That
one I'm sort of like I don't know about that because the thing is that everyone who voices and mocaps for that game, like you've seen the quality of like how everybody looks and the skin texture is great, and
good.
Like all of the voice acting is amazing. But I know how good Spider-Man looks. I know how good that sounds. I know the effort that goes into that, and I know that Cameron Monaghan, like that's an acting job for him.
Yeah.
That's not just like standing in a booth and then he's leaving. He's doing all the moves. He's doing jumps and shit. Which again, I put real sort of respect to him on that.
Yeah, 100%.
But then if this is like maybe if this guy's it's his first foray into this and he's mocap, and like because I know that guy is a very popular character. So if people have just gone, this guy's amazing in this game, I'm now gutted that I have never really heard or seen him do anything because
I wouldn't go as far as saying that he's. I personally don't think he should have won this, but through a lot of these categories, it does very much feel like they've just gone, Baldur's Gate's dead popular, get him in every possible category going. Because, like, on the comments for IGN, there's actually a list that people have put together for the multiplayer games that came out this year. And there's a lot more than we actually thought that there was. We'll go over them after. But it does feel like they're just going, everyone loves Baldur's Gate at the minute. Get them in, get them in, get them in. And
it's like an individual standout performance. I don't know as to whether I'd agree with that, considering, like you say, with like Cameron or with the fellow who plays
Yuri
Peter Parker,
Lowenthal.
Like your entire performance that's everyone's experience. Where with Baldur's Gate, there's so many different companions. Like you could never, even if you don't kill that guy off,
why not meet him?
You could just never. You can never. Well, no, I imagine you'll still meet him regardless, but you could never take him in your party. So you could never use him or do anything with him. Which in itself, I suppose, if you want to think of it from the other side of it, the fact that you can just leave him or just kill him and you never get to see that performance, and the fact that he's still incredibly well regarded as a result of it, is a testament to how good his performance is.
Or is he a famous voiceover actor?
I don't know. I don't recognise the name.
I don't recognise him. Yeah, he's been in like Detroit, Final Fantasy, and other stuff. So it's not like he's an unknown person. So it's not his first. Ain't his first gig. But I genuinely.
To be fair, with that kind of quality of game, though, you can't risk newbies on that.
I mean, there's possibly some people on there that are more under the radar, I guess. But with games like Jedi Survivor and Spider-Man 2, it's not just the cutscenes; it's the actual playable parts of the games as well. They still got to do all the stuff for that. I genuinely think that both of those two were robbed. Even Idris Elba in Cyberpunk.
Well, what was the category classed as? Sorry,
best performance. So for voice over acting, motion, and/or performance capture.
Yeah, I mean for the whole package, I don't know as to what, because you don't know as to whether he's done the voice for this one guy, but then he's also done 250 hours worth of mocap, which is like a bunch of like random NPCs and loads of combat stuff. Like he could have been tied up in a bunch of that.
I wouldn't assume that there's a lot of mocap going on in Baldur's Gate, to be honest.
I mean, there's still like, again, there's like animations and there's like people talking and there's like gestures and
they probably got like that down, but like the combat on that is there's not a need to do any mocap for the combat.
I imagine there still is.
I don't know. Like, because quicker, I guess.
Well, like look at Mortal Kombat. Like that's a purely fighting game. In this day and age, you could just animate those characters to just fight in a way that you wanted them to, but they still get people to come in and do the moves for them because it's more realistic. It feels more real.
I'm pretty sure it's just reference though, isn't it? So so they don't want, like, it's not mocapped in the same way that The Last of Us is mocap. So they from start to end is Troy Baker.
No, they capture the moves. So someone will go, "Oh, this is a cool uppercut. This is a cool whatever," and then they obviously piece that together and transition it between like a default state to then go back into the next move or whatever. But there's real people doing those exact same motions.
Well, that's still more. That makes more sense than Baldur's Gate would, because Baldur's Gate's an isometric.
That's what I mean though. I don't know what level
I wouldn't assume they do. They might do.
Physical animation is.
I couldn't say. I honestly don't know, but I wouldn't assume that they'd take as much effort as Jedi Survivor has for the mocap. That side of it, at least. They might do, though. I don't know. Just with everything else going on, it seems to be another problematic thing to add into an already very large game. When you could you just need an animation of someone going, ah! Ah!
But is it not easier to just go, well, we've got the model, and all we have to do is just track a person doing that?
Potentially. Again, I don't
know.
So
if it's easier to do that, I'm not sure. But either way, I personally, I wouldn't have said that would have been my first choice. But again, I'm sure that I could very easily jump to his defense if I'd had this guy along for 150 hours on a campaign and be like, no, he sells this character. Like, this is, you want to be his mate because he's that good or whatever.
I still, even if I played through it, I still don't think I would choose that over. I think Cameron Monaghan's amazing in both Jedi games, and I like Yuri Lowenthal's Spider-Man as well. I'll be honest, I prefer him in the first one than I do in this one. Just that's mainly story-wise and everything else, but yeah, both robbed. The best audio design, Dan. Alan Wake 2, Dead Space remake. Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, I
Best
imagine that's
audio.
more. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's more Alan Wake or Dead Space, like
Yeah.
thematic horror kind of. Maybe Resi then. No, I'm gonna say Dead Space.
Yeah, Dead Space remake. Hi-Fi
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Really?
Yeah, very good. But again, this is what I was telling you the other day. It is the sound is probably the more. It's a very visually striking game, but the audio is that's what makes the game.
Right.
Again, I don't know whether I'd necessarily pick it. I like it. I like it a lot. But I don't know. I reckon the sound design for something like Alan Wake 2 would be better. Personally.
Well, I'm assuming that simply for the fact that I haven't played it, so I genuinely don't know. But I know what it's like in that sort of like, the horror sort of.
Yeah.
If you can drag someone in through just the audio alone,
yeah,
and like just terrify someone with the sound of something that's not there, like that's impressive, and rather than just having a big thing.
Well, that's what you like. The feeling with I was playing Dead Space remake a couple of weeks ago. The sound design in that's very good. Spider-Man 2 again, sound design's very good in that, but I don't know whether I'd put it in this category really. And again, why isn't Jedi Survivor in there? Like, just the sound of the lightsaber igniting is good enough for me.
If that's just an asset from the first one, then
I suppose. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was the winner for that one. Best score / music. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
So
Best
with
score.
Hi-Fi Rush being like it's like a sound-based, like music-based game, isn't it? I imagine that's probably got a decent soundtrack to it.
Yeah, it's an action platformer, but it's got music elements.
See, Final Fantasy again usually has like a pretty classical score. Like it's usually pretty epic, and it's quite soaring. But the soundtrack of Baldur's Gate is fucking shit hot. But I don't think it's. I don't know, because it is really good though. I think that something like Hi-Fi Rush, because its music is a bigger part of it than just like just being the soundtrack to whatever's going on. I'd maybe say that again. Yeah,
Hi-Fi Rush. Should have stuck with your guns, Dan. Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, because
has to.
It's so
Fantasy
operatic and it's so gorgeous.
All of them. They've all got extremely good soundtracks.
Yeah.
Best art direction, Daniel, which is for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm going to say Alan Wake.
You'd be correct.
Yeah, because I don't think that the other ones. Again, I know I'm looking at Hi-Fi Rush now. It looks great. Like, it looks very vibrant.
Alan Wake 2 is the best looking game I've ever seen.
I can't disagree with that. That's exactly. I was just sort of like, but it looks incredible. It looks like a TV show.
Yeah, looks fun. Like, really good. Tell you who, like, watching when I was watching this and it was showing you the, like, basically just showed you the gameplay trailer they released a while ago. But I think Jake Gyllenhaal would make a really good Alan Wake if they did a movie.
Have you seen him in his UFC?
Yeah.
Now, good grief.
He's the whole package now, Dan.
He's more than that.
He's good looking. He's funny. He's fucking ripped as fuck. He's rich.
Yeah.
Talented.
Alan
Wake. He's everything.
Maybe I think he's probably been a bit disillusioned by coming back into another video game property, though.
Oh yeah, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, I don't want to.
Again,
but they're like, no, they're good now. They're good now.
I think in terms of casting, I think he was a good choice. In terms of film, it was awful.
Yeah. An Alan Wake show, though.
I reckon it could work.
A Netflix kind of.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I reckon with like The Last of Us being so popular, and if Fallout is really good, I reckon you're going to get like Hulu and HBO and Netflix and Disney Plus, whatever. They're going to be squabbling very quickly over these sort of properties. I reckon. But like, okay, well, Yeah, I reckon like Alan Wake, Resident Evil has been touched on too many times, I think, to be...
Resident Evil's fine as animated. Like, the animated movies are good.
They're not going to be super interested in that.
No.
Although, with like Captain Laserhawk, that's kind of like... That's a fun thing, but it's based on, rather than being a part of.
Yeah. It's its own thing, and it gives itself, like... I wouldn't be surprised if we have at least a mobile game with a frog assassin and that kind of stuff. And
I don't know. I haven't played Mirage yet. I don't know if that's a mini game that's in there.
It might be, but I would much rather have the. We talked about it on the podcast a few episodes ago, but having a Rayman game based on that Rayman from the Laserhawk universe.
His life's falling apart. Yeah.
That'd be so fucking good. I'd be so
that'd
up
be
for
ace.
that. But yeah, Alan Wake 2, like, whether you like horror games or not, is an absolutely stunning looking game. It's visually fantastic. The only thing that I would say, essentially, like, I really, really, really like the art design of Mario Bros. Wonder.
But in terms of technical achievement, I think that's what they specified.
It
looks great, but it's not like you haven't remade.
No, it's not pushing the limits of the Switch or anything like it. Even to
of anything close to that powerful.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're looking at stuff in that respect, I suppose, like Last of Us on PS3, that was like the back end of the PlayStation life cycle. Even Red Dead, I guess. Like, Red Dead 2 still looks phenomenal now. And that's not pushing any limits or anything. But yeah, Alan Wake 2's gorgeous. Very, very gorgeous. Best narrative, Dan?
Narrative.
Best narrative. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Have they given any specification as to what they mean by
for
narrative?
Outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game?
Yeah, that's Baldur's Gate.
You reckon?
It can't not be.
I mean, it can not be, and you're wrong. Have another guess.
No, it can't.
Alan Wake 2.
I disagree.
Well, you can't. This is the list.
I think that's.
No, you could say could say you disagree with their choice, but that's the winner, Alan Wake 2.
No, I'm not saying that that's not the winner. I'm saying that I'm sure that Alan Wake is great, but it cannot compare to 6 years worth of writing and storytelling.
Well, I mean, it can, in a sense of, if Alan Wake 2's story is like that, capsulating, and it takes you on an emotional journey, like however you feel within that game. Like, I personally, having watched, again, we only played 2 hours of Baldur's Gate. For me,
it was
not
like
you.
an hour, yeah. But that wasn't any story.
Oh no, but just based off of that, I would go Knights of the Republic 2 is 100% better in terms of story and like sucking me into that world, because I don't give a shit about Dungeons and Dragons because it's me, and the odds are that's what a lot of people have thought of for this, where they've played Alan Wake 2 and just gone, this is phenomenal. I'm only 12 hours into Baldur's Gate, and I've got another 4 years left. So I don't know. I haven't played Alan Wake, so I can't comment. Looking on this list, I'd have to go with Spider-Man 2, but I wouldn't say it's the best one on there. But again, I haven't played Alan Wake 2. But yeah. So you disagree? This is your first one you disagree. Second one you disagree with?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Again, that's purely on the basis that I can't think of anything kind of. And I'm not saying that it's the greatest story ever told.
No,
because that's the Bible, as we all know. What I mean is that it's because the story is so branching and it's so different, dependent on the actual choices that you make, and you become engrossed in your own story. That is more impressive
didn't win,
than.
Though. Because if that branch, the people who voted for this, if their story branched off and they didn't have a very good story,
well, that's their own fault.
So that's the game's fault.
Well, I guess I'd say it's more. It must just be more. I think you're right. This isn't going to be relevant to any degree, and I also don't think this counts as anything. But I'm just curious.
What are you doing? You can't say that it
Have a
won't
look.
count, and it'll tell me what it is.
So, if you're a gamer that seeks to see all aspects of the game, you're likely to spend around 29 hours to obtain 100% completion on
What's
Alan
that?
Wake.
Alan Wake.
Yeah, Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
So that's a 30-hour. Well, it said about 19, so sort of 19 to 30 hours or so of like competent and interesting storytelling. Sure, that sounds great, but then when again, this is personal opinion, obviously it doesn't apply to everyone, but 10 times that amount is in Baldur's Gate, and it's all, as far as I'm concerned, it's all interesting. For you may not give a shit about the old mage who used to own this tower and what he got up to, and the size of his mum's pants or whatever.
I'm interested in that.
But there's so much built into that world that
is there too much though?
That's the thing. It could potentially be overwhelming if you're not, but you're also not forced into it either. You don't have to sit there and read every book. I don't, but there's so much to build on, and there's so much story that can come from it. Or you can cut entire parts of the story out, because you can just go up to someone and go, "I don't like you, kill."
Yeah,
and you can cause a beef with a whole part of the world that now they're all hostile towards you or whatever. And for something like Alan Wake, I'm sure it's a great sort of like linear storytelling thing, and narratively that's quite good, because you have to follow that story, and if that story is engaging, you're engaged that whole time. Whereas with Baldur's Gate, there's so much to it that I personally would say that that's more impressive than...
Well, I don't think it's about how impressive it is. I think it's more of, from a storytelling point of view, like Alan Wake 2 clearly got a very good story to it, whereas Baldur's Gate is not necessarily like Alan Wake 2. The most important thing about it's not the graphics or everything; it's the story. But I don't think the story of Baldur's Gate 3 is the most important part of it. It's a part of it. It's a big factor, but I don't think that's the top of the thing for it. Just because there's so much else to it. Whereas Alan Wake, if it hasn't got a good story, it's probably not worth playing.
It's just a very good looking piece of shit.
Yeah, effectively. And as we've seen with what's that game that's been knocked on the head? The final day tomorrow,
the day before or something.
Yeah, like that's a visually very good looking online zombie MMO. It's just garbage though.
3 days bankrupt.
Yeah. Pretty funny though. But yeah, say obviously as a story driven game, if it hasn't got a good story, then it's not worth playing, is it? So that's all I'm basing it on. Whereas Baldur's Gate's got a lot more going to it.
Because I think that the story is the only part of Baldur's Gate. Because it, like the cutscenes and the facial animation stuff like that, it is some of the best I've ever seen. It's incredible. But the sort of the general combat, that's no different from similar RPGs that do something similar. The story and how varied it can be is what makes it unique, and that's what makes it interesting. And your experience playing that game can be so different from somebody else's purely because of how you've played and how you've led yourself down that path. And that's more impressive to me than just... Again, that's not to say that I wouldn't play Alan Wake and go, this is incredible, this is the best story I've ever... I just think that in terms of scale and scope and what they've managed to do with something, I would say that's more impressive. But I would happily play Alan Wake 2 and revisit that and go, playing both of them now, Alan Wake, it shits all over it.
Yeah,
like it's so engrossing, it's so incredible. That could completely be the case. It's just that I just don't feel that it could be. That's all.
These are awkward ones because neither of us have played Alan Wake 2, so we can't. All we're basing it on is A, it won, and B, we've seen how good it looks. That's all we're basing it on. So I think a solid, strong, single-player, story-driven game like Alan Wake, like The Last of Us, that God of War, that kind of thing, there'll be... No, I'm going to use percentages, but this isn't obviously right. But there'll be, in a good one at least, there'll be 100% more in those few hours than there is in 60 hours of Baldur's Gate. just because you can't. Your story isn't going to have the same amount of dedication as this single player game, because they'd have to put the same into Bob's story and then the same into Mary's story and the same and I don't think they've got the time. I know this took a long time to make, but they don't have that much time to individually weave a potentially.
But then that in itself is because it's taken them years and years to just craft the story for Baldur's Gate. Surely that means that it is more impressive that you can have an entirely different experience.
What I mean. I'm not saying it's not impressive. I'm just saying the caliber isn't going to be as high as if they just had one straightforward story. I know what you mean. You've got to make a little bit of leeway to make it work. Like the fact that it works.
That's the compromising thing, though, isn't it? Is that you could just go. We can focus on one 30-hour campaign, and we'll put the best writers on it. We're going to tune it and make it as good as we can do. But if you don't like it, there is nothing for you to like about that game.
Yeah.
Whereas with Baldur's Gate, if you go, I'm not really enjoying this being a bad guy, you can just restart it and you can change your play style and it changes the game itself.
Yeah.
Which again, I get that if you just wanted like a pure solid, it's like reading a book rather than like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Like you just have to follow the story as it's laid out to you rather than having some impact on it. I let's say I'm going to put a question mark on that one.
I mean, to be fair, it's just the best.
Having a bit
direction.
of thought about it.
Yeah.
I'd rather put a question mark on it, play Alan Wake, and then decide.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, definitively, which I prefer.
Game of the year. This is the biggie, Dan.
This is the biggie. Okay.
Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Call of Duty isn't on the list.
I thought you were going to say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I'm like, no. Is there any definition of what they're going off?
Recognizing a game that delivers the best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Then that has to be Baldur's Gate.
Resident Evil 4 Remake.
That's a lie.
Yeah, it is a lie. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is no way that you can say, oh, this is the most all-encompassing, it covers all the technical aspects, everything that goes into making a game. And this game that's already won 6 different awards in these same categories from this award show, that doesn't win, but a remake of something from 38 years ago. That one does.
38 years ago.
That's when Resident Evil 4 came out.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
it's like 1972, something like that.
I'm 37, Dad. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is Game of the Year, according to Jeff Knightley, anyway. Jeff Keighley.
Genuinely does not surprise me.
Again, not necessarily disagree. I haven't played it to have an opinion on it. Taking that out, I'd have to be Spider-Man 2 just off that list because I haven't played Alan Wake. But I think come next week when I do play Alan Wake, I think I'll go Alan Wake should have won. But again, haven't played Baldur's Gate, so. But yeah, the only one I massively disagree with is Cyberpunk 2077 winning best ongoing game.
Yeah, I don't agree
Outrageous.
with that, no.
And I know you're not. I am a Fortnite fan, and you're not. But Fortnite 100% should have won that.
But that's the thing.
A game alive.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But I couldn't disagree with that.
But that's
in terms of it's insane, the amount of content and the fact that they've still managed to keep it relevant. Look at all the other things, Among Us and fucking what's that other thing?
I forgot what the popular one was over COVID.
Fuck's sake. There's a bunch of them like that where it's just sort of the streamers get hold of it, or just out of nowhere, just people go, oh, this is like Lethal Company. That's a thing now where people have just gone, this is great, and everyone loves it, and it's the most popular game in the world, or whatever. But in 6 months, it won't be.
Yeah, because they've moved on to something else.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not like the people who made Among Us. One, I can't imagine that they expected it to be as popular as it was. But
it came at
it's
the
not
right
as if
time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd say that COVID came at the right time.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, because this is how everybody was interacting with each other. It was the perfect game for the perfect time. Like,
yeah.
I know people died, but Among Us was great.
But I just don't think that they could go, oh, well, we need to keep this game going for the next 10 years. It'd be like, well, people aren't going to really be interested in the next 10 years. And you would have to redesign the game, have additional modes. You need to get like, people just
to point out, Among Us is in Fortnite as well. So,
well, there you go. It's been absorbed by something that does have that kind of
It's called
clout.
Imposters, but it's the same game.
But then that's the same as Hunter or Terrorist Town, or wherever it was in Gmod.
Yeah, which is
it's like hide and seek mode.
Which is effectively what it is. Like, again, there's like Prop Hunt. That's part of it as well, which is from Gary's mod.
That's absolutely Gary's mod.
Yeah, I think that's called Prop Hunt as well, actually. But we was watching the awards, and I said to Zoe, like, even Dan is going to disagree and say Fortnite should have won this category.
Yeah,
because
100%.
they should. Whether it's not even deserved, they do deserve it because they do put a lot of effort into what they do. But the reason Cyberpunk 2077 has had this ongoing stuff is because it was fucking broke to start with. So they shouldn't be lauded for fixing a game that shouldn't have been broken in the first place.
I can't help but feel that maybe it's like a consolation prize for like, look, your hands were forced to release this game early, and you've had to spend however many thousands of hours on the grind trying to get it to work, and now that it's at the point where it should have been released, here's recognition of fixing, like putting the effort in to get it all right. Which I'd understand if it was like, a award for
most turned
biggest
around
turnaround.
Game. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I'd be like, do you know what? Yeah, sure,
100%.
you have fixed it. But like best ongoing support? Nah. I wouldn't say so.
The fact that, like, I know there'll be some people that will go, though, that they didn't have to fix it. You go, no, they didn't.
That's true.
But no one would ever, there'd be no hype for the next fucking game they do. Like, even though the next one's going to be The Witcher, they're going to be like,
no,
do you remember Cyberpunk?
No, I disagree. If they were doing a Cyberpunk 2, people would be like, oh, no, I don't trust that. But if they said Witcher 4, they'd be like, oh, thank God, going back to their roots. At least we know that that's going to be all right. But you know that it won't be, because The Witcher wasn't when it came out. It wasn't like absolute, polished diamond that Witcher 3 is now.
Well, it wasn't, like you say, it wasn't at launch. Then
I'd even give it to them if they said, oh, it's like the 4K like remaster, like the ongoing support that they've done to keep the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt going. I'd be like, sure, because that looks great now.
It's a I mean, by the same logic, I mean, it wouldn't be this year, but like Cotter's had updates and stuff.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's
imagine that showing up on
where do you draw the line
this?
though? That's what I mean. Like having something like Cyberpunk, it didn't come out this year. It didn't even come out last year. So it shouldn't be on the list. Simple as that. That's how I see it, but whatever. There is, though, Dan, there was a trailer for Sega, and they're doing.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer for that?
I saw it as it was like just a YouTube advert. I think it just popped up on YouTube, and I was like, wait, what? But they were remaking, not remastering, remaking. A bunch of classic Sega Mega Drive games. So there was Golden Axe.
As well. Was it? Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe,
Crazy Taxi,
Shinobi. Shinobi looks fucking amazing. Like so good. Another fighting one.
Streets of Rage.
I think that was it.
Well,
and more, as it said.
Yeah, so I mean, those would be your big hitters, but then there might be like an Echo the Dolphin or something like that that throw in for the sake of it. But with I was actually at a place called NQ64 in Manchester on Monday. Now I've been to it previously with a couple of mates, and we left after about 20 minutes because I was absolutely fuming because it was like a Friday night. It was our own fault anyway for going on a stupid time, but it was just like. I think my mate laughed when I was just like, none of these people belong in here, because it's people that were just going there for like a bit of a hangout before they went out and got off their tits on
Yeah.
crack and meth and whatever. And it's just like, you people are like hedge fund managers and sales. Like, get the fuck out. You don't belong in a place like this. And it was dead cramped, and it was.
Was this
I'm not
the last
joking.
time you went? Not Monday.
Yeah, not Mondays. This is the last time. Like, because you buy like tokens that you use in the machines. So when we got to the bar, we got a drink, overpriced, obviously. And we like got these tokens. We were like, right. So we got like, I think we got some each. So we got like, it was like a tenner or whatever it was for like 8 tokens. That's probably not right, but whatever. Yep. So we had like a bunch of them each. And then there's a big machine, Time Crisis 2, like right next to the thing, empty. And I was like, love me some Time Crisis 2. Machine's broken. Like, as we put it in, it fucked it instantly, and the guy came over, and then we ended up having to move on.
For God's sake.
A bunch of the other, like the actual decent machines, you just couldn't get to because they were busy. There was a Guitar Hero arcade, but it was just in the middle of the room. So it was just, they got loud music on, obviously, to keep everyone occupied. So you cannot hear the fucking song you're playing. And in a pure rhythm game, ridiculous.
You'd think you'd have headphones or something.
Right? It was mental. But that's like 4 tokens. That's like 2 per person. Like, to use that. And you only get 1 song out of it. So that was, again, no good. We were in there for about 20 minutes. And I ended up just giving the rest of my tokens to some rando. I was just like, here you go, mate. Just enjoy. Because, like, you can't give them back and get a refund on it. You've got to use them all.
Yeah.
So, and we just walked out, and I was like, that was the worst.
God's sake.
But they opened a new venue, like, literally next door. And they've got an entire, like, whole bottom floor of a building. It's a place that used to be called Dive Bar, which I've been to quite a few times when it was a bar and, like, a restaurant. It was quite nice. And we went at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Monday, and it was
dead.
Fucking empty. So we had pick of absolutely everything. I got a cocktail, again, quite expensive, but they're all themed for like old retro games or whatever. But we played like a bunch of like original Xbox stuff. We played GameCube, we played NES, we played N64. Also, we played Unreal Tournament. Quake 2 on N64. Garbage. We played a 3-player deathmatch, and it was literally, we just had to try and find each other, and then it was whoever could orientate themselves close enough and quick enough to aim at the other person to shoot.
Don't forget,
because you cannot move.
We did this on Retro Shenanigans.
That wasn't Quake, that was fucking Duke Nukem, wasn't it?
No, we did Quake. We did Duke Nukem as well. But we did Quake.
That wasn't the N64 one, though, was it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because this was before we moved on to the next gen.
We were still using Xbox controllers, though, weren't we?
Yeah, it would have been with an Xbox controller rather than an N64 controller.
Yeah. Because the aiming on an N64 controller is horrific. Like, I don't think I've ever played many other than GoldenEye, but that's like got the fine aim, and it's an auto lock for most of it anyway.
Yeah, the GoldenEye was good because it was walking with you only had obviously one analog, and then you had the yellow C buttons for fine aim on GoldenEye. But I think on Quake and stuff, you actually used it to look.
So the D-pad was moved.
Yeah, awful.
It was all inverted as well. So you were trying to do it upside down. Oh, it was horrific. But yeah, then we played some like Xbox, and we played some old Sega games, and like hit up a bunch of the machines and stuff like that. And it was just it was so good. So absolute shout out to that new bar, like that new. I think they only opened it a couple of months ago, but they're like new location on Tip Street, Manchester, NQ64. Incredible. So well done.
Go on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, like as soon as they open, basically, yeah. And they've now got 2 Guitar Hero arcade machines, and they put them in their own separate rooms that are all soundproofed.
Better.
Amazing.
That's a lot better.
So good.
They've added festival game to Fortnite, which is basically Guitar Hero. And it's very good.
Well, that God of Rock thing, that's basically the same kind of, pushing buttons.
I mean, this isn't obviously the Fortnite one, you're not fighting, it's just laid out exactly like Guitar Hero. You do like stages, and you can set it up so you can do this song, this song, this song, this song, and you do it like like a big show, well, like a festival, hence the name.
Right.
And I like it. However, as with what's the new Rocksmith game? Rocksmith Plus, whatever. What was our biggest gripe with that, Dan? Other than the stupid pay factor for it.
That it was purely, or the vast majority of it was like pop songs. So anything that has like a guitar sound in it, like someone who's just put it in their fucking auto loop or whatever, that somehow makes it on there.
Yeah.
But bands that are primarily drummer, guitarist, bassist, rhythm, whatever, there's like I can't remember. I haven't checked in a while, but I'm going to do it now.
Well,
we'll do it live, just because this same gripe will always come up for me.
Because it was something silly, like out of 100 songs, there was like 11 actual rock songs.
No, mate, there's thousands of songs.
No, I was just saying, like, it was something stupid like that. It was a very, very low amount. But for this Fortnite festival, I had 500 V-Bucks on my account, and yesterday they added All American Rejects, Dirty Little Secret.
Nice.
And
I'm pretty sure that'll be on here.
I bought it because it's the only one that's a real band. Like, it's Lady Gaga and The Weeknd and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I mean, I like the game mode. It's pretty good. I just hate all of the music. And then they did that, and I went, well, I'm going to buy that.
Well, I imagine that's because, like, on the old Rocksmith, that's what it was. There'd be packs that you could buy, or individual songs that you could buy. So you could
coincidentally, I bought Dirty Little Secret on Rocksmith.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm on it now. So there's over 9,000 songs on here at the moment. So in the rock section, there's 2,679.
So it has gone up.
Which has gone up, but it's also the first one that's on here is The Cure.
I don't mind The Cure.
No, but I wouldn't say they're a rock band.
No, I mean, I was the next question was, what are they defining as? I mean, the Clash is arguably more punk than rock, but I assume they're defining
New Order.
That's definitely not rock.
New Order is not rock.
I'm assuming they're including anybody that has a guitar in the band as rock.
Potentially. So about 2,500 under rock in the general loose sense that it is. Under metal, 216.
Fucking hell.
Which is bullshit.
But this is what I never understood about the, like, I'll say it for just because we were talking
under
about
R&B, there's 513.
This is the biggest problem with Rock Band Plus, and to a lesser extent, not including Fortnite. Like, obviously, Fortnite is they're going with who's going to pay us to be in this festival game that we've got. So
he's popular.
Yeah. So The Weeknd is massively popular at the moment. Lady Gaga's always popular, and that's what they're doing. And that's fine because it's not the game. It's a free game on a free game
that you don't have to do.
No, it's just that it's an option if you wanna. I gave it a go because it seemed fun, and they did have, because it is a rotating daily thing unless you want to buy the songs. I did the Seven Nation Army, which again because it was the only rock song on there, and then the next 2 days after that, I was doing The Weeknd and Lady Gaga and stuff because there was nothing else on it, but I did like the game. And that's fine. I'm fine with that because it's free. Realistically, what's the demographic for Rocksmith?
You'd think it would be anyone who, to be fair, anyone who's following the marketing.
Yeah.
Anyone who is attempting to learn how to play the guitar.
Exactly. That's its primary objective is to... It like the way I've always...
It's not a game, it's a tool.
Well, I did it as, like, when I was trying to explain it to my... was it Rachel? Yeah. I was trying to explain it to my sister when the first one came out. And I was like,
yeah.
It's basically Guitar Hero, but you learn guitar. So instead of a plastic guitar, you use a real guitar, and it teaches you how to play chords and stuff, and then ultimately how to play a real song. And she's like, that sounds pretty cool. I was like, it is pretty cool. With this one, though, I imagine the first one, but wank. Because, like, there should be, if there's, what was it, 4,000 songs? Something like that, you said?
No, it's 9,000.
9,000, so even more. It should, at the very least, it should be 7,000 of those are rock and metal. 2,000.
Maybe it's just a
pop.
case of there aren't that many.
It definitely.
But
is.
I know for a fact that one, that's not the case because obviously there's
Rocksmith.
Well, one, it's Rocksmith, but two, there's been 50, 60 years of metal, like just in terms of just general metal, but up to like your sort of new death metal and scream and whatever. But the fact that there's also their definition of rock, which they might have maybe tweaked some things to make that category a bit bigger, maybe. But I like the fact that it's not like the genres aren't in order of like how many songs are in it. It seems to be in order of who would be signing up for this service.
Yeah.
People who want to play rock, people who want to play metal. They're number one and number two. So you've got 2,500 in rock, and then you've got 200 in metal. But then if you look at those artists, they're not like your most well-known ones. It's not as if there's like a bunch of Metallica, there's a bunch of Megadeth, there's a bunch of Slayer, there's a bunch... They're not there. Which means that, to me, that says, well, you couldn't get their approval to do it. And then R&B, there's 500 and something, and then pop is the next one, and there's 2,500 of those. So, I don't mind the subscription side of it. I think the price is probably a little bit too much anyway, but whatever. But those numbers are wildly out of proportion for what they should be.
If you're paying for a
subscription, no one's going, oh, I love Lady Gaga. I want to learn how to play the guitar songs.
Well,
no, you don't. You want to learn how to sing like her, or you want to learn how to
dress,
do all the
whatever.
No, like the audio production side of it, maybe.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like in terms of your pop stars and your current popular artists, I think Lady Gaga's like she has catchy songs and they stick in your head, and like everyone knows Bad Romance and Poker Face and everyone else because they were massive songs. But like you say, no one sat down and gone, "Oh man, I heard a really sick riff on the new Lady Gaga song, and I really want to get that later."
Like I can't imagine that will be. I could be wrong, but I cannot imagine that this might sound a bit odd or a bit shitty, but I don't think they're difficult.
Probably not.
Like comparatively, like
it won't be.
The reason that I love Rocksmith as much as I do is because it forces me to play the blues. It forces me to play some jazz songs, like songs from the 50s that I never would have even thought about. But you learn how to play certain chords or progressions that you just wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And it kind of, like, I learn from the variety of different songs that I play. And there's some in there, there's Duran Duran and stuff like that. But, again, proportionally, there's a way smaller sort of like old classic pop songs maybe, to like a whole bunch of like new metal and classic rock and stuff like that, and it just seems bizarre that instead of encouraging people to on how to learn an instrument, playing music that they would probably be into if they're interested in learning that instrument. They're focusing purely on what's popular at the moment, or simply what music can we just get our hands on.
That's evident with this particular model, where like you had like the first Rocksmith, where like you could choose, you can get like your own amps and everything else, and like you could have your whole virtual thing and just have a jam session and everything else.
Yeah.
This is very much your like everybody loves TikTok and everybody loves Instagram, and then this is their equivalent of that. It's all based primarily on the phone. Now, that's where everything feeds through. Like, you don't even need a guitar to play. Oh, well, that's a fucking point there. Like,
well, you do.
Obviously, you do need a guitar, but
you don't need the cables and stuff because you can use your phone as an input device for the thing on your computer, which I get to a degree because then it saves you having to buy a cable. I guess obviously the quality's not going to be there.
The game came with a cable though.
No, but this doesn't come with a game, does it?
Yeah, because it's an app.
Well, I wouldn't say it's an app. It's still a thing that you have to download.
No, it'd be off the Ubisoft launcher, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you can't just... You'd still have to go and buy the cable separately. And also, if you get it secondhand or whatever, like the original one, you still need to go and buy the cable for it. Because odds are you're not getting that with it.
I've still got my cable. I've still got the games. It's a good job.
Yeah. But it just... Like, the model itself just doesn't work for the set list that they've got there. And I can't imagine that I'm the only person who's sort of like, you've taken away the best part of it. It's like, it wasn't just songs that I recognised, but it's songs that I loved, and it's songs that were difficult, which meant that there was a level of progression there.
Yeah.
If you can learn the 5 basic chords that go into any fucking pop song, where's the challenge anymore? There isn't a challenge. There's nothing more to learn. You're just, once you know how to do that, you can just copy and paste onto every song, and congratulations, you can play 5,000 songs. But that doesn't mean much, because if you can, anyone can.
Maybe that was the problem with Rocksmith, though. Maybe it was too hard, and too many people gave up, and they were like, "I wish there was more songs that I could play, and I didn't like."
But it's not a game, though. That's the point. The point is, like, it even says it as part of it, is like, make sure that you're not just playing the songs that you know or the songs that you like, because there will be, you will have to, like, the way that your muscle memory moves to, like, get to a certain chord or to get to this note to bend it. That when you learn how to do that in this song, it'll actually help you speed up that solo that you're doing in the other one. Like, there's so much that's based around, like, helping you learn and develop the skills.
Yeah.
And because they gave me access to I think it was the alpha or the beta of Rocksmith Plus, for some EA questionnaire sort of thing that I had to do in afterwards. Yes, sorry, yeah. But there was, it said about 6 or 7 times. It was like, what do you think you would improve? Not including, like, the song playlist, like, because it was just like, don't comment on the songs, just like in terms of, like, the mechanics of it. How does it work? How do you feel?
If I remember rightly, though, even on the the early access thing, it wasn't a very good playlist.
No, but that's why I figured that they were constantly saying it in the questionnaire afterwards, just to say, don't say, "I'll put better songs in" or whatever. Like, I wouldn't even care, honestly, if all the songs that they had in Rocksmith 2013, which is a 10-year-old game, which is the one that they were updating constantly until Plus launched. If they just said, right, all of the songs from that are in this, and then we've got this rotating playlist of 9,000 extra ones, I'd be like, yes, sign me up for that. Because not only is there 400 or 500 songs that I'm already kind of used to, but then it lets me come out of that comfort zone even more.
Yeah.
And then kind of like, there's more jazz options, there's more blues options, a hip-hop song. Maybe that will be completely different or difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be something to sort of stretch over into.
It's most likely a license thing, and they haven't. They've either upped the prices to include those songs, so they're not prepared to pay them, or I don't know. It's clearly a license thing, though. It's got to be.
Yeah. Although, because if they're not packaging it as a single item to sell, because if people don't like that, they're never going to like it. Whereas with this, they subscribe to it. But we'll be adding more in all the time. There's this whole community section to it, to like people giving you tips and each other tips on how to do certain things or what setup works best or whatever. There's a community that goes into the support and the learning side of it, which is all very well and good. But unless you've got everyone who's keen on the songs that you're putting on there,
I can't imagine.
No one's going to.
I can't imagine the community is very big. Rocksmith Plus, I'll be honest.
I don't know. That's the problem, really. And because the Ubisoft launcher doesn't have like a comment section for games, as Steam does, obviously, as these are their own games, they don't want 5,000 people.
This is garbage.
Bullshit. Boo. But I suppose the plus side of it is you could pay for a month and go, fuck it. And then you just don't have to pay them again.
Theoretically, yeah. I've never seen any trials.
And I imagine there will be like a 7-day trial or something like that. I'm almost positive there will be.
But I'm happy with Rocksmith.
Try for free. It's on their website.
I'm happy
Let's see, is that a week or... There's a piano one now.
Ooh.
So now it does piano as well as guitar as well as bass. That's interesting. Again, that's a totally different instrument to include. That's great.
I didn't know they did that.
So it's either 85 quid a year, yikes, which is... Oh, so the only way to get a free trial is to sign up for the year.
How do you cancel?
You just cancel any time.
That seems a
so
bit...
You get 7 days for free. But if you forget, it's going to take 85 quid off you.
What if so if I do it now and cancel it tomorrow, do I still get the rest of my trial?
No, I think it would be up to that point.
Outrageous.
Although, I tell you what would be interesting is if there's a crossover. So if you were learning piano, and if I was learning guitar, and we could play a song together, like those specific parts of it, that would be interesting.
Like how we played two-player Rocksmith.
Yeah, like so instead of it being lead and bass, it would be lead and
I would assume so. For the songs that support it, because it's no different than playing remember Rock Band.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same as that in terms of setting it up.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah. That makes sense.
It might not be all of it. You might only have out of those 9,000 songs, there might only be 2,500 songs that have got piano and. That's what I will say. Just commenting on it, on the Fortnite festival, when I got to the point where the only thing I hadn't done was Lady Gaga Bad Romance, and I said to Zoe, just while I was waiting for it to load, I was like, I'm pretty sure there isn't even a guitar, because you can choose guitar, drum, bass, or vocals, which one you want to do. And I'll just do guitar, but I'm pretty sure there's not even a guitar in Bad Romance. And when it loaded up, it was a guitar. I was like, that's pretty cool.
What do you reckon that there's some Lady Gaga on here, though?
There will be. I don't know. If they can't afford the license for, to get some Metallica in there, maybe they can't afford Lady Gaga.
No, there isn't, no. But again, that could just be because there isn't one. There is One Direction, though.
Yay. Even more reason not to buy it. Hey, did you see in the news, we are going to wrap this up because we are encroaching, we've gone over 2 hours. But did you see in the news that the oh my god, who's the biggest K-pop band in the world?
How the fuck would I know? I've just been whinging for 10 minutes about the fact that there's not enough metal on a thing that should have metal on it. How am I going to know what?
You'll know who they are. Everyone knows. BTS. They are like the biggest K-pop act, like the big over here, over there, in America, everywhere. They're all gone into. They've all been drafted for the military. Which, in all fairness to them, like I didn't know this till today, but in Korea, like when you get 18 to 34, all able-bodied males have to.
Yeah, it's the same in
list.
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah,
it's national service. Yeah.
These were actually exempt because it basically said because they'd already done so much for their country by bringing in billions and billions and billions of dollars, which they have, then they wouldn't have to. But they were like, nah, we'll do it. So they've got it, and I was like,
I agree with the sentiment of, well, if the point is to give something back to the country, I think we've already done our fair part of it, as we're not at war at the moment. I'd say that would be a reasonable move, but I think from a PR point of view, you'd have a bunch of people saying, so you don't have to go and fight anywhere, but you're too keen on being pop stars to go and do some cool stuff. Yeah.
They've done it.
Fair play to them. Yeah. I can't imagine that they'll come out and still be the same people they were when they went in.
Potentially not, and they're all still I think they've only not long turned 18.
That's what I mean. That will sort them out.
Young lads used to this pop star lifestyle. Because for some reason, I'm not a big K-pop fan, as you probably know, Dan. But for some reason, over the last few years, these have got bigger than Justin Bieber, very, very famous group. You must have heard of them. You must have.
I haven't. What's one of their songs called?
Oh, couldn't I? They're not that famous to me, but I know who they are. I know they had a song called "Dope." I remember that song.
Dope.
I remember that. Let's have a look.
Okay. Is this an English song or is it a Korean song?
No, it's K-pop, so it's all in Korean.
Then why the fuck are they popular here? No one understand what the hell they're saying.
No, honestly, no idea. I've no idea.
Is it just catchy?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they're very catchy, but equally, I'm pretty sure I thought they were all girls at one point. So they all dress very. That is just that. For whatever reason, K-pop has just got massive. Whether it's because of YouTube, Twitch stuff, I don't know. I honestly no idea. But yeah, they were massive. What's another one? Fire, Boom Baya, As If It's Your Last.
Fire, Boom Baya.
I'm literally just googled them. But yeah, I was like, fair play. That was it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be quite the fun-loving heartthrobs when they've had the shit kicked out of them
I don't
about
know.
50 times.
Robson and Jerome did all right.
And Soldier, yeah.
They did it opposite though. They went in the army and then became pop stars.
Stars is probably a generous term for him, but sure.
He was one of them. I don't know which one. It was in Game of Thrones. Not
Really?
Who's the short one? Because one was tall, one was short, like Anton Day.
Yeah.
The tall one, he's in Game of Thrones, and he's like quite a prominent character as well.
Oh, right, okay.
So.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones either.
Yeah.
So.
It's another one for you, Dan. Add it to your list. But
couldn't tell you.
While you're adding things to your list, we're going to go, mate. If you want to see more, you can go to the website, which is www.podcastversusplayer.com. It's all going along the bottom of the screen. And we've got a new season trailer chat. First few episodes of that have gone up, as well as Let's Plays, game shows, reviews, and lots more. And we'll see you on the next one. And we'll see you on the next one as well. See you in a bit. Bye!